I woke up feeling cold, numb except for a headache that drilled into my skull. I heard a constant drip, drip, dripping sound, like water trickling off a leaf after a rainstorm. The abrasive smell of chemicals and of something else, something metallic, kept my drowsy mind from slipping back to sleep. I sat up and my eyes adjusted. Above me, a single flickering fluorescent cast the room in a pale dim light. Bloody scalpels, bone saws, and sharp hooks cluttered a metal tray to my left. Several spent syringes littered the floor, their glass stained with a strange black substance. Sharp, deadly, hardly sterile. The corners of the room were hidden in shadow. Just on the edge of the light, there was a chalkboard covered in endless mathematical equations and symbols, as well as several sketch diagrams of the human body. That and of something else, something I cannot quite describe. Next to the chalkboard stood a door. Hopefully it led to freedom, but I began to fear that I would never know for sure. I stood up and glided toward it. I had to get out of there, or at least learn what was going on. Then, I caught movement in the corner of my eye. Someone stood with their back toward me, doing something I couldn't see. They turned and I froze. It was a woman wearing a white lab coat. A surgical mask hid her mouth. Her eyes were glassy and sunken. Strands of greasy black hair spilled out from under a ragged surgeon's cap. "Please," I started. "Where am I? Why am I here?" But she didn't even pause. Instead, she ignored me and walked over to where I'd woken up. I followed in a daze and looked over her shoulder. On a surgical table, a form lay covered by a white sheet stained with blood. An arm dangled out of the sheet and off the table. Dark blood flowed from a slashed wrist, down the limp palm and off a stiff finger, where it splattered to the greasy tile floor. The woman pulled back the sheet, and I stared into the glassy eyes of the same face I saw in the mirror each morning. That can't be me, I thought. Reality gripped my heart in its icy clutch. "Let's bring you back," the woman said. She flipped a switch, and a jolt of electricity arced from the ceiling into my body like a lightning bolt. I woke for a second time, this time in my own body. I felt the cold metal of the surgical table against my bare skin. I tasted something metallic, probably blood. The smell was even worse. Cooked flesh. "I'm not done with you," the woman whispered, regarding me with a clinical coldness. "Not yet." Holding a syringe up in the dim light, she flicked it and a bead of dark liquid ran down the needle's side. I tried to squirm, but I found myself restrained by leather straps. She pressed the needle into my right arm, slowly. The sharp metal sunk through my skin and gradually poked into a vein. The room began to spin. The edges of my vision darkened. My heartbeat thumped in my ears. It was like a clock, tick, tick, ticking away at the minutes in the hellish room. Something was wrong. A hunger stirred deep inside me. A need to kill. Something else was shearing my skin, and it wanted out. Pain stabbed into my brain. I must have screamed. My vision became blurry, like it was refocusing. Bones stretched and broke, twisting my spine and elongating my limbs. My heartbeat became erratic. The nails on my hands and feet extended into sharp claws. Incisors became fangs, slicing my lips. Blood splattered the walls and floors of the room. A lust for murder overwhelmed the pain. I ripped off my restraints with a newfound strength. The woman backed into a corner. Her eyes were wide, her body trembled. The corners of my vision darkened, focusing on her. Saliva gushed into my mouth. "What did you do to me?" My voice was harsh and guttural. Spittle and blood hung from my lips and chin in long strands. "Don't you get it?" The woman steadied herself, lowered her surgical mask, and smiled. What the fuck did you do? I stepped closer, flexing my claws. I fixed you, she said. Perfected you. I laughed, the light flickered out. The last of my humanity died.